All right. Happy Friday morning to you guys. It is Filler Up Friday time once again. This Friday, we have my very good friend in real estate and in life, Heather Wooten, who is an icon agent with EXP. She's taught on the EXP world multiple times in front of an audience from around the country, and even people from other countries have dipped in and been in those sessions. So she's going to talk to us this morning about building your personal brand and how that really just impacts your business. So Heather, I'm going to screen share with you, or going to throw the thing over to you so you can share with us, and
Great.
you just take it away.
Okay, let me do that really quick.
Okay.
Hang
All
on.
right. There you go. You are now the host.
Okay, perfect. Okay, everybody can see my screen with my big mug on there.
Can.
Okay, and I was just saying to Phil and Brian David that this is a long presentation that I did in the EXP world. So I'm going to use the content, but I'm going to try to do a little more conversational format this morning. So I'll talk a little bit just to introduce. David, are you a newer agent, or how long have you been in real estate?
No, I've been in real estate since 2010.
Okay, so you're a very experienced agent. Okay, cool. That just helps me kind of know how to tailor it. So let me just scroll through this because that's a lot of EXP stuff. Let me introduce myself a little further. So I've been in real estate 3 years, and started with Keller Williams, was on a team there for about 9 months, switched over to EXP, and I've been with them ever since. I was able to Icon in 2021, which in EXP world, that means about 35 transactions is the simplest way to put it. And so part of that is teaching in the world. So I have done this content. And when we talk about the world, we have an online like community. So that's what we're talking about. But anyway, so one of the things that helped me kind of as a newer agent really launch and do some lead gen is kind of doing personal branding. When I switched from Keller to EXP, I just kind of made this my mission as I was learning new systems and all that, as you do when you change brokerages. And I really wanted to brand. I really wanted to do, I didn't like the business cards of the guy, this team I was on. I didn't like his sign. So I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. And my disclaimer here is I'm mediocre at this at best. There are definitely people that are better than me. But what I see is most agents don't do anything or are very minimal or inconsistent. And it really has worked for me. And I'll talk a little bit more about actual leads that, that I've gotten from this. So was talking about branding, and then obviously a lot of that branding is directed at social media. And I'm old. I'm 49 years old. I'm not young. This is not my playground. Didn't grow up with this stuff. So my other disclaimer is if I can do this, anybody can do it. And I think it's a way to really win as an agent because most agents don't do it. Or don't do a very good job at it. And so even doing it, being mediocre at it and figuring out as I go, has worked for me. So I feel like it's an opportunity for people to kind of be able to do that. So I'm going to talk a little bit and then kind of pause and let you guys talk so that I'm not lecturing. But just a little definition here of personal brand. So personal branding is the intentional effort to create and influence public perception of yourself by positioning yourself as an authority in your industry, elevating your credibility, and differentiating yourself from the competition. So that's kind of a little quick definition. And also, I'm going to give Phil this slide deck, so you don't need to take notes. If you want a copy, just ask Phil and he can get it to you. So personal branding is the best way to establish yourself as an expert in a space. And I'm not going to read all of that, but the space is really, we have this free place, Facebook, Instagram, now TikTok, wherever and you don't have to do all the things. I suggest picking one thing and just getting really good at that platform. But we have this free place. I mean, you can still cold call. And I know Brian was just telling me you got a great lead from cold calling. So this isn't taken away from that, but you can also talk to 1,000 people at one time when you're using this correctly. And it can build trust, commitment, and community around your brand. And we'll talk about that a little more. Again, I'm not going to go read all of this. Some of this you can just look at on the slide deck. This was just a cute acronym. about branding. And so this presentation will talk about these 5 things: finding your focus, being authentic, creating a brand identity, telling a story, and being consistent. So that's kind of the format of the presentation. And the process of personal branding is finding your uniqueness. This is really important because there's so many agents in our area. It's very competitive, as you guys know. Building a reputation on the things you want to be known for and allowing yourself to be known for them. And ultimately, the goal is to create something that conveys a message that can be monetized, because we want to make money. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. So let's start here with just finding your focus. So like, where do I start? How do I even think about this? And you've heard this quote before. I don't know who said it. I didn't come up with it, but I love it. You're not selling real estate, you're selling yourself. Because you can't convince someone to buy or sell real estate if they don't want to, if they're not in the season for that. So what you can do is continue to put yourself out there, so when these people are ready, you're the first person they think of. So that's really the goal with personal branding and social media marketing. So some things to think about is, what is the public's perception of you? Would you want to work with you? And when you think about it, like, take a critical look at what platforms you're on right now. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, take a critical look at that. Like, what are you putting out there, and what is the public's perception of you? It's really important to be careful with that content. And would you want to work with you? So who are agents? So one of the things I did is I just started looking for other agents and following them, and especially agents in other areas, because then it's not like I'm ripping off and duplicating, as we like to say, but I'm not, nobody here's doing it. So I just found people that had a really good social media presence and started copying them, because I'm like, that looks like somebody I'd want to work with. That person looks so knowledgeable, so professional, fun, whatever your values are. So another thing to think about is, like, who is your ideal client? And of course, the richest one, but, really it's your sphere. It's the people that you're already naturally going to come across, you're going to connect with. And so think about that. Like, when you're putting out video content or whatever you're doing, think about the person that you want to see that and be impressed or wowed or whatever, or just, like you. So think about that. And then what makes you, oh yeah, jump in.
Yeah, real quick. This morning, it's funny, in the car, I was taking my kids to school, and we were talking about real estate, my real estate business and all that kind of stuff, because I try to involve them as I can in what's going on in my single dad's life here. And I said, yeah, I'm like the Scarface of real estate. I'm coming to take over. Rah! And my daughter goes, you're not that guy, Dad. Sorry, you're not that guy. She goes, you're the Paul Rudd of real estate. And I went, what? She goes, fun loving, likable, humorous. People just generally like you and enjoy being around you. You're the Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd is Ant-Man on the Marvel Universe comics. And
but hey, he's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. He's funny.
I want to work with Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I would too. And so I said, okay, maybe I'm Paul Rudd of real estate. So.
Yeah, and lean into that, because the people that are going to go to Scarface are probably not people you want to work with anyway.
They're not.
You know what I mean? So you really want to attract those people, because those are the people you want to work with anyway, because they're going to just naturally be drawn to your personality, that type of stuff. So, and then I'm going to open up for questions in a second to have some more dialogue. But as your mama told you, never get a second chance to make a first impression. And who you are online is who you're perceived to be by the general public. And then this is my all caps, and it's meant to be, I'm yelling, get professional headshots made. You don't have to get expensive ones, but all of that is out there. I do a lot of relocation, so I get a lot of business from people who've never seen me in person. And I see it all the time, of these agents that have these blurry, grainy, just selfies, and just go spend the money and get professional headshots. Because and sometimes, like, real estate photographers will do them for you if you promise to use them on your next deal. and they won't even charge you. I've heard people do that. I think Jeff was able to find, his photographer did that for him. So, please do that. It is important. And I think it can make you stand out. So, okay, we're going to talk about personal brand statement, but any questions from you guys before I ramble on? Okay, we'll jump into this next part. I suggest creating a personal brand statement. This is also, we used to call it a mission statement for those that are old like me, a slogan, a tagline, a catchphrase. I mean, it's the same thing. And it's just a summary of why you do what you do. It needs to be simple, to the point. This is the back of my business card on this side. And so mine is, my mission is to help you sell your home, find a home you love, and have fun in the process. This is why Phil and I are friends, because we like to have fun and laugh and goof off. So that's my personal brand statement. And that's kind of my goal with people, because before getting into real estate, we've owned 3 homes that we live in, 1 investment property, and none of those went well. I just, didn't have good experiences. So it's always been my goal to make this fun and take this as much stress off of my buyers and sellers that I can. I really try to show up and, kind of keep them as happy as possible. There's some things we can't control, but, and there's a couple of, examples on here of other people's brand statements that I thought were really good, but just keep it concise. So that's kind of finding your focus. So that's a good place to start. If you don't know where to start with this, is just spend some time on that part, asking some questions and critically looking at what you've already got going. And when you're thinking about where do I, there's so many online options now. And I think one mistake I see agents make is they try to do all of them and they don't do any of them well. Where are your friends? Where are your people hanging out? And that's going to depend on your age. It's going to depend on, kind of your personality, but that's where you want to be. My goal with social media, I'm not going to be an influencer. I'm not going to make money off ads. That's never going to happen. That's okay. My goal is I'm talking to my sphere and my past clients and people that follow me every day, or if several times a week. I'm staying top of mind with social media. That is my goal. So I think I see a lot of agents and lenders and people doing content that looks like creator content, trying to be influencers, which is a different thing. And I don't think that's reaching their sphere. I think you're better off with less polished content and just being real, because you're really talking to your friends. So think about that.
Heather, do you schedule and calendar a time to I'm going to post 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, or
I don't, and I probably should. I don't think that's a bad idea. And I've had good intentions of doing that. But what I do is, one of the things I do consistently, I post every listing, every pending. So even if I have the buyer, I'm going to post, pending. I post every closing. So I'm posting the same house, over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, multiple times. I post about holidays. Sometimes I just post fun content of, look at this cool pool at this house, or the mountain views from this property, and I think it keeps my stuff a little more interesting and authentic, because it's not it's good to schedule and have a plan. Mm-hmm. Don't fall into the canned content, because everybody's doing that. And I think people just start to tune it out. But there's a lot of content you can come up with, especially when you get out of the influencer mindset and you're just talking to your people. Just post what you're doing. I'm out showing houses today in the snow. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, because again, the goal, at least for me, is I'm Heather. I sell real estate, in case you forgot. And I'm really good at it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm who you want to work with. So, and especially as a newer agent, just constantly posting my listings, my pendings, my closings, was showing people, hey, look, she's doing a lot. She's newer. Didn't think she knew what she was doing, but look, she's doing a bunch of business. So it just gives you some credibility as a newer agent. And, even as someone like David, you've been in real estate for a while, and I'm sure you've heard this, they say, most clients forget their agent's name within 5 years. they don't remember who they even worked with. So how are they going to call you when they're ready to buy or sell? And yes, stay in touch with them, and there's many ways to do that I'm sure other people have talked about. But social media is if they'll follow you on social media, that's a great way. They're not going to forget who you are. So that's a really good tool to stay in touch with your sphere. So that's cheap. It's free and easy. It's easier than trying to call people all the time or do mailers. And I do some of that too. So this isn't either or, it's all, but this is just another tool. So, and I focus on Instagram and Facebook. That's where my people are. Instagram's kind of a girlier site. Not that guys can't use it. Please do. Phil uses it, but I feel like more women hang out on Instagram.
I
And
post my TikTok videos on Instagram.
yes, and I do. My daughter, I have a 20-year-old daughter that has helped me over the past few years kind of learn these platforms. She helped me learn TikTok. I'm not big on TikTok. I kind of do what Phil does. I do put content on TikTok. It's like my photographer did a video a couple weeks ago on my lakefront listing, and I took the video he did and put it on TikTok to some music. I mean, I don't dance.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to dance on TikTok by my daughter.
David, whatever you do, don't get on TikTok and dance, okay?
Yes, I don't dance on TikTok or anything like that. Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram can be that chance for that raw, like Brian, man, I was up this morning and I made 50 calls. I was on the phone just trying to connect with people who touched base on my website. Lo and behold, man, a $1.3 million guy wants to buy a house. And he's heard about me. He's learned about me. He now knows me. We're going to get out there and we're going to find this thing. We're going to get it done. And then could just leave it there. And then through 3-4 weeks, come back and be like, we found it. He's going to, he's putting in an offer today and we're excited. It's just that raw behind the scenes, not the polished holding the sold sign every time. So.
Yeah. Right. And I think people respond to that better. They like that. And yeah, I'll just do videos like of that showings that I'm at, and I'll do a little TikTok of the house, and just post that and, try to find something interesting, but it's really just putting something out there on a regular basis. It doesn't really matter what it is. As long as you're authentic, which is what we're going to talk about next. Yes. And not dancing. So just talking about authenticity, I think in real estate, we go to all these sales things and there's all these scripts and that's all really good. But what I find, a lot of times is people can smell BS a mile away, and they don't want to they want to work with somebody that they feel connected to, they feel like they can trust. So just be careful with that and make sure you're injecting your personality. Copy people, but make it your own. Just think about those things. I've got a couple of Brene Brown quotes on here. And, if authenticity is something you need to work on, I highly recommend her content. She's studied it tremendously and has a lot of good information about being authentic, but just be yourself, because that's when they meet you and work with you, they're going to know the true you. And I think people really respond to that of feeling like people are authentic. And I think they can tell when you're not. So talking about just like, and you've seen, I forgot to say at the beginning, but I have a logo and have some branding, and I peppered that through this presentation just so you can see my branding and how I use it kind of everywhere, and because I want people to remember it. So I've kind of just have examples on all these slides. From a practical standpoint, when you're creating your brand identity, usually just no more than 2 colors, one bold and one calm. I'll again give you these slides. This was just a little fun thing about what different colors mean. I have the teal and the gold on mine. So that's just kind of something fun you can look at later. This is my logo and branding. I've actually paid someone on Etsy. If you're not familiar, it's kind of a app website where people do, it's a lot of it crafty stuff, but there's also people who do marketing, and there is a ton of content on Etsy. I had somebody create this. I paid him about $100. There's also listing presentations you can download and put into Canva, and they're beautiful. And all you have to do is go through and change the colors and add your branding. I mean, I have the most awesome listing presentation that I bought off Etsy, and you buy it to recreate it. So highly recommend. I didn't know that they had all this stuff, but there's all kinds of stuff. If you're doing an open house and you need a sign-in sheet, you can go on there and they've already got these really cool ones that you can brand and logo, and it's super easy and it's not expensive. So that's where all this came. Now you can make this stuff yourself on Canva if you're good at it. I'm just not great at it. I do use Canva. Is everybody familiar with Canva? Okay. So here's some logos from Canva, just other examples of different ones. So here's some examples of print media that I do. And as you see, I stick to my colors and my branding. This is a postcard I did last year. I send a home anniversary card to all my past clients. It's not a folded card. It's a one side says happy home anniversary. The back of it's blank. I write them a handwritten note. I can't believe it's 2 years since we bought your beautiful house. Hope you're still happy there. Call me, it's a little better than that, but write a little note. Yes. Just more examples of like, that's a home tour schedule that I'll make and send out with branding. Here's some more, just showing you that your branding needs to just be like obnoxious as far as sticking to your logo, your colors, because you want people to recognize it. And I went with kind of weird colors because I feel like every sign in Knoxville is red or blue. So I decided to do something, that kind of nobody else was doing. So that's why I chose this. Just more, this is a, example of like a sign I put out in front of one of my listings. I take my reviews and make them like this, and they all look like this and I post them on Instagram because Instagram has to be a photo. So periodically I'll take those and just do content. These are some examples.
Say, do not let the cat out.
You hate that sign?
We can't keep the cat in the house.
I know. It's always the worst. Like, oh, pets are such a nuance with showing houses. I swear they can really kill a deal too, because if it smells like pets, people are just done. It's the worst. So anyway, this is just examples. The top 3 slides are my Instagram page. I just wanted you to see when I said earlier, I post every listing, every, pending, whatever, I've got my little stamps on there. And then that's my Instagram. And then you can see like I do other content of just different things. And then the bottom 2 are just some other agents. There's an agent in Knoxville. I don't know him personally. His name is Jared Cruz, which I think is a cool name, but he does a great job on Instagram if you want. And since y'all are all guys, it's really masculine, but follow him on Instagram. You can see his logo, JC, and he also says they went to Jared, which I'm like, that's brilliant. So, and I think it's CRUZE, but you can find him on Instagram. I just think he does a fabulous, I don't know if he may pay somebody to do his. It's so well done. But he's got it down. He's got his 2 colors. He's got his logo. He posts consistently, does great content. So,
and he just got a shout out on a recorded video that will go out on
YouTube.
I'm
like, I'm waiting any day for him to call me and be like, I hear you talk about me all the time. But it's just someone I found when I was doing my own, and I like to use him as example because mine's very feminine. And, so especially talking to guys, I'm like, go follow him because his is just really great. That's just my Facebook page. I even ordered stickers and I put them on water bottles when I do an open house. Like I said, it's obnoxious, but it's consistent. And so it's worked for me. So let me pause for a second because I feel like I'm talking a lot. So thoughts, questions, anything?
I bet for the other 2 guys that are in here, it's the thought of like having that idea. I mean, Brian, if you had to brand yourself or come up with a motto, do you have one? Like I started using do a deal with Phil because it rhymes and it was easy.
I love it.
So Brian, I mean, or David, have y'all?
That's my next step. Like I said, I just got on I mean, I've been on Facebook for a long time. I've got a lot of friends on Facebook, but and that's probably where I would need to start, because Instagram's not, I'm not really good on Instagram or anything like that. My wife is, so maybe she can help me with that. I don't even have a TikTok. So, yeah, I mean, I need to come up with a slogan. I got my business page set up with some photos, the background and all that stuff. So, and then I just got business cards made too. So, I got those off Canva. So I created those. Turned out pretty well. So I'm going to start passing those out too. So,
well, and if y'all saw Brian in person, he is like literally like jacked. So like he works out. And so, I mean, you look like a baseball player or something like that. Right. And so, I mean, leaning into the fact, like, let's, get something like fitness seems to like just kind of come out, you look like you take care of yourself. And so some kind of, yeah. So in some kind of way, incorporating that, I don't know how. I'm not a marketing expert.
I'm not either, really. I just make it up as I go, and and it's a process. It's not something you can do, in one day, but I would just, and you don't have to do everything I'm saying by any means, but I just feel like, as someone who's not super young, not a marketing expert, no marketing background, I've just kind of figured this out. And let me talk about some ways that this has worked for me. Instagram, for an example, and you don't have to be on Instagram. Like I said, where are your people? Where are people following you and listening to you? It doesn't matter. And you don't have to do all the things. But my daughter helped me get I have a business Instagram and a personal Instagram. I have a business Facebook and a personal Facebook. And that's intentional, because on my personal pages, it's 90% personal content, 10% business, roughly. I try to keep those, because people, if you turn your personal page into all business content, you're going to get muted. They're just going to tune you out, because they're all, and some people will get annoyed because, like, I followed you because you're my friend and I wanted to see your kids or your wife or your vacations. I didn't follow you to hear about real estate. And so, but if they follow your business page, they signed up for that. And so I post, the business is kind of the flip of that. It's 90% business, 80 to 90% business. And I still pepper personal content in there as well. So, I use both. And you can do on Instagram, you can do where your Instagram automatically posts to your business Facebook. So that's what I do. So you don't have to dual post, it'll automatically. So I kind of put it on Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook. And that's kind of all I put on my Facebook business. It's the same content. And there's also, with business pages, there's an app Facebook has, because Facebook and Instagram are the same. I think it's called Business Creator app. You can actually schedule posts and all that through there. So like if you want to do something for every holiday, you could sit down in one afternoon, create that content, schedule it for the year, and be done. So there's ways to do that, and it's not complicated. I was doing that for a while. Don't do it as much anymore. I kind of just do it as I go. But when I did my Instagram, I'd been in real estate about 6 months. And this is when I was with Keller. I got a message from an agent in Pennsylvania. She said, I'm looking for an agent in Knoxville. My in-laws live there and her brother is moving. They just sold. They were looking for lakefront up to $800,000. Do you want a referral? Yes, thank you. So got a referral. It was the biggest deal I'd ever done at that point. And, was able to close them. They have now decided to move back to Indiana. So their lakefront house is listed for 1.1 million with me right now. So that was only from Instagram. So, and there's other examples of that, but I have definitely gotten leads in business from social media. That's not just my sphere, but I definitely think, since I'm only 3 years in, I think a lot of my sphere that has used me had used other agents previously, but I think it was because I was kind of reminding them so regularly that I am an agent and I am so good. And I know that sounds arrogant, but on your business page, you need to toot your own horn. So, that reminder, I think, made them want to work with me versus going back to whoever they worked with before. So it really can generate leads in business. Again, even if you're just mediocre at it like I am. So, And then the next portion, and I know we're running out of time, but just, kind of tell a story. We already talked about this a little bit. Just, I'm showing in the snow today, whatever. Just talk about what you're doing, make it relatable. If this was an example, you can read the whole story. I got a lot of interaction on this post because it was just kind of like an overcoming story of a lady, that had been divorced and didn't think she could buy a home and all that. And so people loved that. And it's a true story. It was a great story. So I shared that. And I didn't put her name or address or anything, but my sellers on a house sent me this picture. They thought it was funny. It was listed at Halloween. So of course that free content, I posted that on my social media. Here's some more examples. The last little piece is just be consistent. The other thing I see agents do is they'll get it started and then you'll look at their page and they haven't posted in 6 months. Well, that's not going to work. You're not on there enough. You don't have to do a post every day. You don't even have to do it every week, but probably at least weekly, you want to be putting something out there. And I also want to caution the numbers are important. Here's what the interest rates are. Here's what the market, here's the absorption rate. Those things are important, especially when you're dealing with people who are buying and selling right now. Everybody else does not give a crap about that. They don't. So don't turn your content into constant numbers and facts about real estate, because unless you're actively in the process, and some of those people don't care. They just want a cute house. They don't care what the absorption rate is. They don't care about all these numbers. I'm not saying don't post that stuff. I post that stuff sometimes, and NAR and TAR, especially NAR will release some easy content that you can repost. Just make sure you follow NAR, because sometimes I will repost their stuff because it's good information. One thing recently was Knoxville, the top 10 cities for relocation in 2022. Knoxville was number 10. So yes, I posted that as content because I thought people care about that. No wonder houses are selling so fast here. So just be careful with that though. Don't make that all you're doing, because real estate to me is very personal. People want to connect. They want to see pretty houses. Most people don't care about those numbers a whole lot, and they're just going to tune you out or mute you if that's all you're doing. So yeah, be consistent. And like I said, repeat. As you see, you're going to recognize my brand just from seeing this presentation, because I've shoved it down your throat. So that's kind of my advice, is just pick a lane and go with it. Just do it. You can't really mess it up because most people aren't doing it, and they're not doing it well. So I'm going to shut up now and open up for questions, comments, whatever.
Does Facebook have a way to post on Facebook and have it automatically go to your Instagram account?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe you can do it either way. Okay. Yes. Sorry, my headset's falling off.
And David, do you already have like a logo, color scheme, any kind of like moniker or something that,
Yeah, well, mainly just for the brokerage. I mean, let's see, you can see that, like there's a simple business card that I have, and we use blue and green, and the same thing on our signs, not red.
Good.
And
No
David,
red.
do you have a brother? Do you have a brother in real estate, David?
No, I don't.
No, okay. Yeah, I did a deal with a wallet, and he had a brother, so I was thinking, is that you? Yeah.
No. Got a dollar.
Nice.
Yeah, and some brokerages too, it's different about how much you can brand yourself depending on where you are. But you can still stay within those confines and kind of make it personal and brand it, of course, work around. And I also didn't say this, but compliance, watch your compliance. Don't trust me on compliance. Get your advertising, make sure you run that through your brokers and stuff, and make sure you're in compliance.
Yeah. So like Brian, with your business page, you would need to have, all the compliance stuff out there on at least the first page of your business page on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're talking about like address and phone number,
business phone.
Yeah. And I've got the logo too of our business as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. I just got to get started. I just need to go out. I
Yeah.
just need to go make a video.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, video's where it's at, and I'm not
Yeah.
great with Phil's much better than I am about doing video. It's something I've been working on and just,
Well, and
don't
I
love
am-
it, but yeah.
Yeah, when we hang up, I'm literally gonna, pick up my phone, hang it on my computer, and do the whole. This morning I was in the car with my kids, and I told them I was gonna be the Scarface of real estate, and they said, "You're not that guy." And so,
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
a perfect example of what I'm saying. Like, just use your life. I mean, just use your life. People will love it. They would rather see that video that Phil's about to make than a bunch of data about real estate,
and if you have cute kids or grandkids, use them. People like kitty cats and kids and puppy dogs.
Yeah, the goal is just to remind, it's just an easy, free, mostly free. I mean, some of my logos I paid for, but a way to just remind the people that already know you, hey, I'm in real estate.
Yeah, we posted our brokerage posted on Facebook about a house, and I reposted that, and I said, "Is it time to do a deal with Phil?" or something like that on Facebook. And one of my previous clients posted underneath, "We did, and we were thoroughly pleased. You'll do well to blah, blah, blah." And she just gave a review of, "Yay, we liked working with him." And so that right there is, an unexpected client testimony that thousands of other people can see. So.
And anytime you get something like that, you can also turn it into a little slide or something and post it on your Facebook or your Insta, whatever, you can reuse that, and I just do first names, but use that.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Thoughts? Ideas? All right. So your mission is, like, in a week, email me with, you come up with that identifying statement. I'm challenging myself to do it too, because I've been wishy-washy and back and forth. And so, yeah, something about your personal brand, whether it's your color scheme or a little statement you can put down at the bottom of emails that you send to your clients and things that you would post on social. Do a deal with Phil. Why not? Do a deal with Phil. What does that mean? It means it's going to be a chill time. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. Come up with some stuff. So,
Yeah,
Heather, you are an amazing person. We need to go have lunch sometime.
we do. Yeah, catch up.
Yeah. So I'm going to smash pause on the record. And then anybody who is watching this after, if you need a real estate agent, I'm the best one. No, I'm just kidding. No, all these folks
Actually, I am.
quality people. All right.
Well, thanks. It's nice meeting you guys. And I'll send the slide deck to Phil if you're interested, because I kind of ran through it quick. And good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Heather.
you.